All right, another day. Got off work a little bit early, had a dentist appointment. It's 3:30 p.m. and I got some time to get out into the woods, try another spot, so that's what we're doing. I don't exactly know where I'm gonna go yet. I just got a new truck, by the way. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but essentially I'm excited about the truck. I want to get up there, I want to get out in the woods, and we'll just see where it takes us. Man, I got really stuck back there. I was worried for a minute. I called a friend who lives close by, but he didn't answer. So I just dug out all the snow around the tires and reached in as far as I could, and I was able to get out of that ditch, but that would have been embarrassing on my first trip with the new truck. It was still embarrassing regardless. They say be bold, start cold. So I'm going to stick my coat here for the walk-in. Once again, I have the T3X Varmint in 308. Alright, so I need to go in here. I made it to the lake. I spoke too soon. I didn't realize there was a massive hill with thick brush that I had to walk through. I could see the lake off in the distance. I didn't realize what was between me and the lake. That was a rough go. It's getting late too. It's 5:15. The sun, it'll be dark by 6. I see these snowshoe prints in the snow. So when I leave, I'm gonna follow them out. Fuck that. I'm not going through the way I just came. All right. To be honest, this trip has been an unmitigated disaster. On my way in, there was a car 90 degrees to the road, completely blocking the road, completely stuck. They had no business being out here in that little car. Tires completely bald. I have no idea what they were thinking. So I had to try to push them out just by hand. Eventually I was able to get past them. And I was a little overconfident in the car on those trails and ended up basically putting my truck in the ditch. I had to dig myself out of that. That took up a lot of time. Then coming down to the lake here, it was a rough go. Steep hills, thick brush. Now that I'm here, the sun's about to go down any minute, so I think I'm just gonna head out. I only did 2 calls, two rabbit calls, and I really didn't give any time here at the stand. I've only been here for about 25 minutes. I was hoping to be able to put in an hour, but it is what it is. I still had fun, in the snow in my truck, and I love doing difficult things. So, I did have fun coming down that hill through the brush, up past my knees in snow, just soaked, slipping and falling all over the place. But luckily I kept my rifle pretty dry. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna follow those snowshoe tracks out of here. I'm gonna hope they take me to the main road, which is highly likely that they do. And then I'm just gonna hike up the road up to my truck, and I guess I'll see you there. Yeah, I know I've said it before, but it's just absolutely gorgeous out here. We got about 10 or 12 inches of snow last night, and so all the trees are, have a fresh coating of snow on the branches and leaves and stuff like that, and Yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Alright, starting to get dark. I'm still following these tracks in the snow here. No trail yet. I don't know if you can tell by the woods behind me, but they're starting to get a little dark. They don't look very welcoming. I don't know if you can see me, but that was a rough go. It got dark quick. I lost that trail. I didn't know how to get up to the main road. I called some friends. There's some people on the way, but I'm on the main road now. I might just walk back to my car. I think it's only a couple kilometers away. There we go. All right, I'm back in the truck. What a disaster that trip was. On my way in, there was a car stuck in the road, so I had to try to help them get unstuck. So that caused a bit of a delay. After that situation was resolved, I ended up going into the ditch with my truck. So it took me a minute to get out, but I was able to eventually get out. So by the time I was able to find a spot to get to, I picked a spot that looked like it was close to the road and easy to access. I saw a trail that kind of went into the woods. I knew the snow was going to be deep, but I thought the trail went all the way down to the lake. It didn't. It only went about halfway, and then the woods got really thick. Snow was really deep. It was a really steep incline. It was a tough go. I was even considering giving up partway through, but I could see the lake through the trees. So I just kept telling myself, like, you can't give up. You're gonna make it to the lake. You're gonna at least do one stand. So I was able to get to the lake and I was able to do a stand, but I wasn't able to stay very long because it was starting to get dark and I was worried about getting back through that thick brush in the dark. But on my way in, I saw those snowshoe tracks. So I also noticed a few other paths on the side of the road that looked like they also went down to the lake. So I thought for sure those snowshoe tracks must have connected to one of those other paths that I saw that I wasn't able to take because there was no place for me to park. So it just felt like right around the corner, like at any point there's going to be another path that will take me up to the main road, but that never happened. And then the snowshoe tracks ended up going out onto the lake, and since I was back there by myself, I didn't want to follow them out onto the lake, so I just ended up going through the woods along the edge of the lake. Yeah, honestly, it was getting dark. I was getting tired. I was exhausted, carrying all my gear and everything. And to be honest, like I started freaking out a little bit, so I called my wife and just let her know what was going on. And then I called a couple of buddies. Luckily, I had cell service. And anyway, turns out in the end, like I know that I would have been okay if I hadn't got a hold of my buddies, if they hadn't have came. But at the time I was freaking out, and so it was reassuring knowing that somebody was coming to help me. And so my two buddies, BJ and Kevin, ended up coming to rescue me, and BJ ended up getting his truck stuck. So yeah, Kevin ended up having to pull him out. And anyway, it was just a disaster from the start to the end. And the one takeaway though, like that was the first time I ever got myself in a situation like that where I started fearing for like my safety. And so I'm going to take it as like a learning experience. And I know that next time, I know that I would have been fine, right? If I would have just collected myself and relaxed, I know I would have been fine. So if I ever get into a situation like that with the same parameters, I know that like I'll be able to work my way through it. yeah, so it's a learning experience. It was a disaster, but it was still fun. I was just excited to get out there in the new truck and, you know, get out into the snow. We just had that snow overnight. I was excited to get to a lake, and a new lake that I've never been to before in a different area. I wasn't up Ingrimport, I was in another area, you know. So I thought, you know, I had the chance of calling in some coyotes and stuff, but anyway, I'm glad I made it out of there. I'm just chilling in the truck now. I got a slice of pizza here I'm about to eat, and anyway, so that's it for me. Thanks.